Breaking Pension Update September 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, pensioners, families, and everyone who depends on the stability of the UK's pension system, today's news is one of the most important updates we've covered on this channel. Because starting this September, millions of pensioners across the United Kingdom will face a dramatic shift in how their pensions are paid. And let me stress this from the very beginning. This is not just a minor background update, not just some bureaucratic adjustment you'll never notice. No, this is a major reform under new Department for Work and Pensions rules, and it has the power to change when your money arrives, how it's processed, and how you manage your household finances day to day. For pensioners, this matters more than almost anything else, because the pension is not just a line on a statement. It is a lifeline. It is the rent, the gas bill, the electricity meter, the weekly food shop, and the bus fare to get you to the GP. Without it, survival becomes uncertain. And that's why this announcement has rattled so many across the UK. Because the last thing pensioners need right now, amid soaring bills, an endless cost of living squeeze, and constant financial stress, is more uncertainty. Welcome to Pensioners Power, your trusted source for everything you need to know about pensions, retirement planning, and financial wellness. Here, we cover the latest news, expert insights, and essential updates to help you maximize your retirement years. Whether it's understanding pension schemes, making the most of your savings, or staying informed about financial changes, you're in the right place. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. Now, let's jump right into today's topic. The DWP has stated these reforms are about modernization, fairness, and sustainability. On paper, that sounds fine. In reality, it means big changes to payment date standardization is coming. Pensions could shift from their usual dates to new uniform schedules. For people used to a specific day for decades, this creates chaos. Banking processes payments will now be more closely tied to digital banking platforms. Faster, in theory, but a nightmare for those who don't use apps or online banking. Eligibility and verification check stricter fraud prevention means more ID checks, more bank scrutiny, and more hoops to jump through. Genuine pensioners fear delays. The government insists no pensioner will be worse off. But as we've seen in the past, promises from the DWP don't always match reality. Let's say your pension arrives on the 7th of each month. Your rent goes out on the 8th. If under this new reform, your payment date shifts to the 10th, that's enough to make your rent payment bounce. That means late charges from landlords, bank penalties for failed direct debits, overdraft fees piling up, stress, anxiety, and sleepless nights. For pensioners living week to week, a delay of even 48 hours can mean missing essentials: food, medicine, heating. We're not talking about luxuries. We're talking about survival. Another big change is the move towards digital banking integration. Yes, for some, this will mean faster, smoother payments. But let's be real. Not every pensioner has a smartphone, reliable internet, or confidence using banking apps. Many don't want them, and why should they be forced? Meanwhile, banks have shut down over 6,000 branches in the last decade, leaving small towns and rural villages with no in-person services. So what happens if you're an elderly pensioner, uncomfortable with apps, living in a rural area with no bank branch? The risk is you'll feel cut off, trapped in a system you didn't choose and can't navigate. The government says tougher checks are about fighting fraud. And yes, fraud costs taxpayers billions. But the downside? Genuine pensioners face new hurdles. Payments flagged for review. ID verification delays. Frozen payments if details don't match. Imagine logging into your account on pension day and nothing. Just a missing payment and no explanation. For someone living solely on state pension, that's catastrophic. And here's the brutal truth. When DWP systems go wrong, they often go very wrong. This isn't the first time pensioners have faced disruption. In 2021, the DWP admitted it had underpaid more than 200,000 pensioners, mostly women, by a staggering £1 billion due to administrative errors. Some had gone years without money they were owed. In 2022, system upgrades caused widespread payment delays. Pensioners left waiting weeks for money, stuck on hold for hours trying to reach DWP helplines. In 2023, bank holidays created chaos as pensions scheduled for weekends were delayed, leaving people with empty accounts when bills were due. So when the DWP now says, "Don't worry, everything will be fine," it's understandable why pensioners are skeptical. Let's pause and remember what pensions are. They're not handouts. They're not favors from the government. They're a right. They're the result of decades of work, decades of contributions. From teachers, nurses, factory workers, miners, builders, carers, pensioners built the modern UK. So any reform must respect that dignity. And yet too often, pensioners feel like they're treated as statistics, overlooked in cold government briefings about efficiency and modernization. But pensions aren't about efficiency. They're about security, peace of mind, dignity. Here's the bigger picture. The state pension is the largest single item of welfare spending in the UK. It costs over £120 billion per year. With people living longer, the Treasury fears the system is becoming unsustainable. So these reforms are about cutting inefficiencies, yes, but also about tightening control. It's about making sure every pound is tracked, every payment scrutinized, and every pensioner tied into a more standardized digital system. On paper, this may sound logical, but in practice, it risks punishing the very people who can least afford disruption. Think about this not just in numbers, but in real lives. A widow in Glasgow, relying solely on her pension, suddenly sees a 3-day delay and cannot buy food for the week. A couple in Birmingham, both in their 70s, find their joint account frozen while the DWP requests new ID checks. A farmer in rural Wales, with no local bank branch, is forced to rely on online banking he doesn't understand. A carer in Northern Ireland, budgeting every penny for heating oil in winter, sees her pension arrive late, pushing her deeper into arrears. This is not just policy, it's people. With September looming, here's what pensioners and families need to do. Check your payment dates if your pension date shifts. Adjust your direct debits or standing orders in advance. Read every DWP letter. Carefully, don't ignore the small print. If in doubt, call and ask. Keep a financial cushion if possible. Even £50 saved aside can cover essentials if payments are delayed. Set up alerts with your bank notifications will help you spot payment arrivals or missing money instantly. Seek support. Early Citizens Advice, Age UK and other groups can help navigate confusion. From London to Leeds, from Cornwall to the Highlands, pensions are the thread that holds communities together. And that's why this September the stakes couldn't be higher. The government says these reforms are about protecting the system for the future. Campaigners warn they risk creating chaos for the present. Pensioners are caught in the middle. And here's the most important truth. Pensioners deserve clarity, certainty, and respect. Not confusion, delays, and fear. Thank you for watching Pensioners Power. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you in the next video with more insights on the issues that affect the UK. Take care, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for all the latest updates.